Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Content Mix. I'm Carlota Pico, your host for today's show, and I'm excited to introduce Giuseppe La Paglia, who is EMEA Content Marketing Manager at StubHub and is also a former radio host. Welcome, Giuseppe, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Content Mix.
Thanks, Carlota, for having me, and congratulations on this series of shows, which are great.
Thank you. That's so sweet, Giuseppe. Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into StubHub? What led you to where you are today?
I'd say it's been like looking for content marketing. If I had to summarize it, because as for my academical background, I graduated in marketing and communication, and then I attended a master in digital marketing. But my first relevant experience working in marketing was in 2012. When I worked at the sports broadcaster Eurosport, maybe you may know it. And there I took care of communication campaigns. I was part of the marketing and communication team, and I was taking care of communication campaigns both offline and online. That experience was very important for me because it was my first contact with digital marketing, let's say. For the first time, I was handling digital campaigns and using all the power, all the possibilities that social media offered, especially for a very big account. And this led me to the second milestone of my career, a digital marketing agency called Haiku Media and headquartered in Barcelona. I started working there as a community manager, but very soon the agency needed a new project manager. And I completely switched all my tasks to project management. And I was taking care of development of applications and websites, commerce, and also digital marketing strategy, social media, like email marketing and content strategy. And so as at Eurosport, I discovered the potential of digital marketing. At Haiku Media, I found out how content could be useful for our clients. And it was clear to me that was the path I wanted to follow. So after that experience, I started working as a freelancer, developing content strategies for my client. And then in 2017, I arrived at StubHub. My first role at the company was catalog tools manager. I was the person responsible of the tools that the content team used to upload content, especially events. It was a pretty technical role, let's say. But my previous experience at Haiku Media, working with CMS, websites migration, and other technical tasks, was fundamental to this. But then at the end of 2018, I had the opportunity to change my role and to go back to content creation. And today I'm working as a content marketing manager, as you said, for EMEA markets.
Okay, excellent. So you're an Italian now living in Spain. Soccer-wise, who does it better, Italy or Spain?
Well, over the past years, Spain has been a model, let's say, for all football fans. But the Italian championship is coming back. It's coming back.
Okay, excellent. Well, Giuseppe, tell me a little bit about your favorite marketing moments. Any project or campaign that you'd like to zoom into?
I'd say two moments for two different reasons. The first one, I say, it was when I was working at Haiku Media. One of our clients was industrial, a traditional Italian company selling, industrial components. Okay, like electric motors, turbines, and valves. Let's say not exactly the sexiest topic. Okay, so what they asked us was to totally renovate their website. And as a SEO copywriter, in that case, I had to write content, for example, the whole content of the page, including, for example, very technical texts like product pages, and I had to write about electric motors and stuff like that, turbines. So, and it was such a challenge because it's if writing about traveling is great, writing about sports is great, but as I said before, I mean, writing about valves may not be the sexiest thing. So in the end, I had to write like more than 100 texts about these topics, but that experience allowed me to move on, because in our daily task, everyday working life, it's not always. Sometimes you have to take on tasks that maybe are not your favorite. So that was like really, really helpful for me. And another experience was a very structured and long campaign that we carried out at Haiku Media at StubHub last year. It was a campaign focusing on France, Italy, and Turkey. We wanted basically for Q4 2019, we wanted to maximize investment for football and basketball in all the three countries. So it was about creating buyer personas for football and basketball fans for three countries, so 6 buyer personas in total, 6 different creative concepts, and then copywriting for the numerous assets that we produced together with our studio team. So we prepared for that campaign for 2 months. A really hard work, but inventive, creative, very hard. But in the end, we saw really good results.
Excellent, Giuseppe. American football or European football?
Soccer, basically.
Soccer,
yeah.
Okay,
Soccer.
Excellent.
Soccer.
This is a perfect example of why localization is important, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
Giuseppe, what's your biggest challenge with content?
There are many challenges, but if I had to pick one, I'd say sometimes you have to resist the temptation to create a piece of content just because you like it and not because it's the best thing for the company at that moment. Imagine, for example, you just come out of a creative brainstorming, to come up with a creative concept. Okay, so it happens that you like you like one, but it's not the best fit for the campaign you have to develop. So you have to resist sometime from the temptation, to pick something just because you like it and not because it's useful at that moment.
Okay. Moving into StubHub, what is it? Could you offer our audience a 30-second elevator pitch?
Well, StubHub is the world's largest ticket marketplace. It's an American company. It was founded in 20 years ago. Then it expanded globally, and StubHub is now a place if you want to sell or buy tickets for events, all the types of events you can imagine, and it's really customer focused.
Okay, very interesting. As the largest ticket marketplace in the world, how has StubHub used the power of content to retain the attention of an audience on lockdown?
Well, as you may imagine, it was a difficult, unprecedented time for everyone, but I think especially for tourism and of course ticketing industries. In our case, I think we did it in 2 ways. First, being useful. We tried, to keep our users informed about rescheduled or cancelled events. And at the same time, we tried, to amplify the various initiatives like live streamings, for example, that the world of music and culture in general carried out during the lockdown. It was great, especially. I don't know if you remember the One World, the live streaming curated by Lady Gaga. This is an example. And on the other hand, we tried to be both useful and supportive to the industry, because in the end, content marketing and content in general, I think it's about being helpful. So we decided to support the industry, the music industry, with various initiatives. For example, one of them was called Merch Monday. Every Monday, we featured 3 profiles of emerging artists with picture and text, to give them more visibility in such a difficult moment. Or we, as you are doing at the Content Mix, example, we've been hosting, a series of interviews to emerging artists, which was very, very interesting, because we had the chance, to discover what the main problems, the main issues for the artists were. So we wanted to be supportive, giving them voice.
Okay, very interesting. I've actually hosted around 120 interviews now since we started the Content Mix in roughly 3 months. And time again, people have constantly been saying how important it is for content to be genuine and authentic. But Giuseppe, what does that really mean?
Well, I think to answer this question, we should reflect a little bit on what users look for today. I mean, when a user looks for something on Google, they look for an answer. They have a need. They want to satisfy. So starting from this point, we need to create authentic and genuine content, and by that I mean useful and human content. Because our customers must be always our focus. Okay, so focusing always on our customers and their needs. You need to talk to them, addressing their needs, their concerns. So, in my opinion, authenticity is not originality. Okay, it's not being original. There are 2 different things. Is being able to address with a simple language. Avoiding jargon or too much complexity, addressing your customers' needs. I think this is, as I mentioned before, this is, in my opinion, what content marketing, at the end of the day, is about.
Okay, so then let's take one step back. How do you know what your customers need?
Well. From a technical point of view, I mean, if you know, of course, the best scenario is that you know your customers. I mean, in this sense, social listening is fundamental. Tracking hashtags, listening to your community, talking, and striking conversations with your customers. This is fundamental, and you have to listen. You have to listen using all the resources that the digital world allows you to use.
Okay, would you like to recommend any social listening tools to our audience?
For me, it's the one I've used the most so far. It's Hootsuite. Hootsuite is very powerful. Easy to use, maybe not at the beginning, but I mean, as every tool, you need some time to get accustomed to, but in the end, I think it's a really powerful social listening tool.
Okay. Well, because of COVID-19, I feel like all brands have turned to the internet, and people are just being flooded with so much content that's not always valuable. So in terms of views that turn into actions, how do you know what platforms are going to generate the best ROI for your company?
Well, I think if you've been working for many years in a company, you should already know who your customers are and what are the channels that convert the most. If you don't, I think there's for a specific campaign once I had to use BuzzSumo, which is a really powerful tool, and to know where our customers were and where they were talking. And BuzzSumo is a really powerful tool, but you have the opportunity, to search for a topic, and according to that topic, you get many results about where that topic has been shared the most. Okay, so imagine you want to look for, I don't know, holidays in Madrid. You get a full list of results where with the social media, for example, with all the channels where people are sharing the most about that topic, that keyword.
Okay, so interesting. So basically, don't reinvent the wheel. Follow what your competitors are doing and listen to your audience where they already are at, and then replicate that.
Yeah, at the same time, I would also suggest having a look at what your competitors are doing, where they are as well. So yeah, I don't think it's about reinventing the wheel, as you said.
Okay, very interesting. Well, Giuseppe, I am going to pick your brain on website development. According to HubSpot, 63% of global marketers are looking to make a website upgrade in 2020. Since part of your responsibility at StubHub is to manage the copy on your website, I was obviously on your LinkedIn profile and saw that was one of the things that you highlighted on there. Do you have any website best practices or tricks and tips for marketeers that are looking to make that website upgrade?
If we talk about copywriting, maybe I'm going to state the obvious, but trust me, proofread. Once you have done the upgrade, proofread the new content, because it's surprising the quantity of typos, the quantity of mistakes that you can find on a website, even the biggest ones. So I think proofread, but also take this opportunity. I think the upgrade as an opportunity as a chance to do something that you didn't dare to write before. So try to test and analyze things. I think this is a good way to optimize and raise the bar with your performance. So these are my advice.
Okay. So again, let's take one step back. Why do you think marketing professionals want to upgrade their website?
Well, I think mainly because I guess that HubSpot data is also given to the COVID-19 and the fact that both the fact that people are turning to digital more than ever.
Okay.
Above all in terms of e-commerce, so they are thinking more digital today more than ever, and also the fact that in this thinking more digital, people are increasingly and luckily I have to say given more and more importance to content as a great way to attract customers, not just to attract, but attract and engage customers.
Very important, the engagement aspect. Okay, let's take a walk down memory lane, Giuseppe. If you had to give one piece of advice to your younger self about pursuing a career in marketing, what would that advice be?
Well, if I imagine myself, 10 years ago, I think I liked only to do things that I liked. Okay. And talking about marketing, in doing this, I overlooked some aspects of marketing that are really important, like ads or analytics, for example. If I could go back in time, I think these are some aspects that I would deepen. I think.
Okay, so a data-driven approach. Learn more about how to use data, incorporate it into your marketing strategies.
Not only data, but also advertising. For example, I have to admit it's an aspect, it's a branch of digital marketing that I've never felt enthusiastic about. Okay, but if I could go back in time, I would certainly study more about advertising.
Okay, well, it's never too late to learn something new, Giuseppe.
Oh no! Then exactly for that reason, I had to compensate after for what I didn't study at that time. So.
Okay, excellent. Well, moving into our set of rapid fire questions, which are basically your recommendations for our audience. To get this section started off, I'd like to ask you about your source of inspiration. So who do you admire? A professional role model or an influencer?
There's, volleyball fans for sure know Julio Velasco. Julio Velasco is an Argentinian farmer volleyball manager. He arrived in Italy and at the end of the 80s, and he revolutionized basically volleyball in Italy and created a winning team, many winning teams in Italy. He used to say one thing about teamwork. For example, he said, when everyone is always saying that teamwork is an ethical issue, he said it's about the method actually and how to implement it. So I like this vision, and I like his vision for many other aspects.
Very interesting. Thank you. What about a book, an event, a hashtag, a community, a publication that you like to recommend?
Well, we are in such a difficult time, pandemic. We are used to hearing about contagious, of course, in negative terms, as it is actually. But there's a book which is called Contagious: Why Things Catch On, written by Jonah Berger, which is great. Even though it was written in 2013, it's still very valid, and where he identifies the 6 aspects that make things catch on. So I really recommend this Contagious: How Things Catch On.
Very interesting. I think there's also a movie called Contagious, but it's actually about a virus. I would shy away from watching that movie right now. Okay, Giuseppe. And last but not least, what's your favorite app at the moment and why?
Maybe this is not a very famous app, but it's called Stellar. It's an app which is great for visual storytelling, especially for the traveling industry. It allows to create very visual and engaging stories. I think better than Instagram does. So I recommend it as Stellar.
Okay, very interesting. Well, thank you for all of those recommendations, for those great insights, tips, and tricks. And I look forward to hosting you again on the Content Mix in the near future.
Thanks for having me, Carlota, and congratulations again on the Content Mix initiative.
Thank you. That's, again, so sweet. Everybody listening in today, thank you for joining us on the Content Mix. For more perspectives on the content marketing industry in Europe, check out the Content Mix. We'll be releasing interviews just like this one every day, so keep on tuning in. Thanks again. Have a fabulous day and see you next time. Bye.